second in
What happened?
the Slade room, not at the library basement as was posted. We actually have 2 rooms that can be used for taping of meetings, and one person can do these 2 rooms rather than split us in 2 buildings. So it was asked that we move over here, which we're glad to do. This meeting is being recorded, and be mindful that all that is said and done here in the meeting is not only for minutes, but also for broadcasting. The first order of business is to review the minutes from the April 9th meeting. I did not see any errors. Anyone else have any concerns about the minutes?
No.
Are you okay with the minutes? Your motion for the approval of the minutes?
I motion.
And then I'll second that, and the 3 of us, are we in agreement?
Yeah.
Yes. And then before we go on, we have 2 visitors tonight.
Hi.
So we have, Maria Modier, I'm gonna slaughter
Tarigny.
Tarigny, and Stephen Connolly. Thank you for coming. Is there some business that we should be addressing with you folks?
Yes. Good evening, and thank you for letting me speak. I am giving this memorandum on the public record. It contains evidence that the COVID-19 mRNA shot is causing death, multiple deaths. This should advise you to never mandate a vaccination program.
And, okay, and then who is the one that did the work on this?
John Baudouin, Senior.
He served that to the governor, the medical examiner. He has a lot of cases in there from Massachusetts and other states.
There are currently court cases wending their way through the court system.
Okay,
It's just so if anything happens in the future, you're aware.
thank you.
There's a ton of information in that book, not just about the court cases, but also about the types of illnesses that have become prevalent. And medical conditions that are clearly associated with what's called the COVID vaccine, which is not a vaccine, by the way. It's an mRNA therapy at best.
We'll take, if it's all right with you, we appreciate, can we keep the copies?
Yes.
And then we'll each take turns taking it home
Okay.
to review,
Great, thank you.
okay?
That's all I have.
Okay.
Right, and I was here to support.
Okay. All right,
This one is-
there's a lot of
this is-
statistics here which we can't really address at this meeting.
Oh, sure.
It's just informational.
Thank you.
And my friend Maria mentioned that I didn't even know, my friend John and I worked together on, I was looking at obituaries for the last couple of years, and I noticed language in all of the obituaries there was an uptick in what I was looking at suddenly and unexpectedly was popping up more frequently. And so I did a deep dive on all of the obituaries from 2015, I think we went back, to present at the time was 2021 or 2022. I think it was 2022 that we got to, or maybe 2023. It's in there, and it showed that in the same time frame prior to the shot, there was a steady signal, right? Because people do die suddenly sometimes, and sometimes they do die unexpectedly. So you're going to see that at a fairly regular frequency. And then in 2021, what I noticed was the number of times that those terms were used doubled.
And
I
you
mean,
have the specific terms listed in here that
Yes.
were used in the obituaries?
Yeah, he used the graphs that we created together, and it was all 50 states. I did all 50 states, all those years, and it was incredibly consistent throughout the
Interesting.
whole 50 states. So
Okay.
that,
Has this been given to other towns as well?
according to Maria, she said yes. John gave it to the state legislature,
Okay.
actually, made them aware.
Okay,
Okay?
good to know. Just trying to understand
Yeah.
Yeah.
how far this information has been passed out so far.
Right.
It's gone to NIH. Dr. Fauci's been served with it. He's getting it out there. He's got some lawsuits going in
Yeah.
Hampshire.
Yeah.
Mhm.
New Hampshire, Minnesota.
John Paul Bowden has lawsuits, or?
Yes.
And he's from
Dr. Fauci.
Massachusetts.
No.
No.
Mr. Bowden.
Okay,
He's from Massachusetts, John
Right.
Bowden.
He's actually suing the governor, the former governor, Mr. Baker, and several MEs of this state for fraudulently completing death certificates.
interesting. Well,
So-
thanks very much.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Appreciate you coming.
All right. I'm out.
Okay, just wanna see what this topic is.
So
Okay.
then,
Thank you.
for our next in order, which this was part of actually, is any updates on from Maven reports?
Yeah, we're pretty quiet. We had a couple influenzas and one hep C in the last 30 days.
And you made the phone calls and all that?
They didn't need to, they're just monitors. So
Okay.
you just check that, yes, you're aware that the cases have come through,
Okay,
but they don't need any follow-up.
right. I just
So,
wanna get that out there
yeah.
as our representative for
So it's
Maven.
been pretty quiet, even the strep has settled down.
Yes.
Thank goodness,
I had strep after our last meeting.
after all of it.
Mhm.
Wow.
Jeez.
Okay.
I don't know that needs to be in the minutes, but there it is.
I won't put it in
All right, next up are Title V reports / perk tests, which were held over from our
Nice to
April.
meet you.
Thank you for coming. Held over from April 9th, because we had a lot of time constraints dealing with other things.
This is just a soil suitability test.
All right, so first up is, New Templeton Road soil suitability and perk test.
voted on these, so that you wouldn't have to
Oh,
do that, you could just sign.
Sign twice. Right. So that's just the form perk, and that's like, that's an example of a perk test right
You
there.
wanna just sign that minute minutes?
Yes.
People will forget to do that, but that's the last page.
Okay.
That's on here.
That's that. Finish with that one. Do you want this all in here?
That's Lori's,
Okay.
I'll take that.
Yes, that can go in the minutes. Alright, the next one is Title V, 28 Adams Road, which was completed on March 25th, and it passes.
Now it needs a design, right?
Yeah.
Alright, that's going around. Next is a Title V, 10 Seminole Avenue, with a conditional pass. Let's see why.
I have.
So this one you'll bring back to us when the work is completed.
And that is that's 10 Seminole, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is all this.
Right, I just put it,
Yeah, but I think, this was, I just stuck that here, that's what he wanted to do.
okay,
Okay?
yeah,
If you don't have to sign it, it was just sticky note to
Yes.
go in there.
Oh, that was a nice clean
Those are good.
so this is the folder.
And that can all go together, yeah.
Yeah. Stated. Okay, the next one, Title V inspection is from 22 Streeter Road, completed on March 19th, and passes.
But he did put a, see that tab there?
Uh-huh.
He passed it 'cause he put a box in there.
Everything was constantly have turnover.
treatment systems have a, recycling of water, and when the tanks kinda get full, it's supposed to go to a dry well.
Yeah,
And the owner, the system that was there
It's going
was,
into the septic.
was going into the septic.
Oh. kill
Which,
off the little bugs.
a lot of things, too much flow for the size of the space and all the rest, so that was, so they were told not to do that, remove that.
But it still passed, right?
Is what?
What needed
This
replacing
one
was
passed,
yes,
Yes.
this passed, a new D-box was installed at the time that they did the testing. I would suggest in the folder for this, that you make a note that remove the discharge system into the septic, just as a follow-up.
This is some,
Yeah, 22 Streeter, this right here, make a note of that and somewhere's in the chart,
Okay,
outside of this Title V,
yeah,
so that we're aware that they were instructed to do so. Anybody comes in, should the property go up for sale, it's obvious. Just to the whoever it might be, so that they as a possible purchaser or whatever could look that, make sure that that was done before they purchase property. This is to safeguard
yeah.
the property itself.
Right.
That's all.
Are these folks?
Did you sign that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did these folks indicate that they would, replace that corroded distribution box?
I think they want,
It says there's an application.
I just wanted to know if they are,
replace.
yeah, but I wanna make sure that the
Right.
homeowners are actually
So that one
Going
needs
to
to
do it.
have a note on the front of the chart that,
follow up with the owners.
yes, follow up that it was replaced.
Yeah,
And then bring it
that's
back to the board again.
This is the application,
Okay,
and I got that on 4/1. Stamp there, so that's the application to do it, with Lou
By the
doing
owner.
it.
okay,
Lou Bright's gonna do it.
okay, and that's fine, I just
Yep.
want the owners to make sure.
But they signed it.
Okay, so they know we have to do it.
Correct. Yeah.
Yep.
Just go back in here.
Mine is probably like that. Been 30 years, 30, almost 40.
Let's see, he used to do a lot of the, he used to do a lot of the. The next property is in Title V at 11 Old Westminster Road, which, passes. Okay. It includes, a sketch of where everything is with some red markings on it that he checked it off. Okay, looks good to me.
Yeah.
1 Is that an additional
I
copy?
think it's an additional copy.
Just double check for me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I got that, but yes. Oh,
Here.
well, that's that.
Let me take a look. We're currently looking at water review for 193 Waynesville Road.
Know what we need to take this off.
Yep, and now we're checking for something else before. So, because prior to Phil coming on, we had issues with our sanitarian, I am also signing off on all certificates of compliance, which is like the final thing that says, okay, everything's done. So before I sign off, then
Water.
we double check on everything. Nancy also has a wonderful checklist here.
You know what, I bet it didn't,
It's
they
fine.
didn't sign it. So,
So I'm
I,
holding off.
okay, that's fine.
That's why
Yep.
I co-sign these things to make sure that we, it's, you know, it's a checks and balances between the three of us. Okay? So I'll hold off on that.
This way.
Sure. Were there any wastewater tests?
No.
Okay. Next, item 7 is permits to be voted on signed. Number 1 is, Feathered Acre Farm temporary food permit. I assume that's for a town fair. Correct?
I think she is going, maybe we'll have, I think she does other things too.
She's from Northfield.
She came, she got a permit last year.
Oh, she does the Riata Market, got it. When you put the list together for me to inspect, please add this one to the list.
Oh, yeah, I will.
Thank you. Okay, everything looks fine. Second one is from,
That got clipped to something else, cause they gave this to us back at the end of January.
okay,
That was
so,
my error, that's why I don't like.
we missed a, milk and cream and milk distribution permit for Hubbardston One Stop. It did come to us in a timely manner, but, got misfiled. So now we're catching up on signing off on it. All the fees and everything else were paid. Okay. The last one is for a one-day permit.
That's the one that you wanted me to get updated. So it's so those are all the.
I suppose maybe we should be wandering through this. I haven't been there in a long time.
No, what, well,
Yeah, Mr. Mike's. Yeah.
whatever.
Okay, the last one is for, Donut NV, a one-day permit.
Can't teach old dogs.
And all the appropriate paperwork is here.
What's the one-day permit?
It's for the
For the,
The
of the
fair.
fair.
town fair.
June.
Yeah, in June. It's the first weekend in June,
It's the
8th, so
Oh.
then might be actually the second weekend in June.
Yeah.
1 plus, technically. Alright. Next we have open septic plans engineering plan review from 25 Lombard Road.
driveway.
Yeah, I believe that, see there's a little stone wall
Mhm.
here. I believe were at the planning board meeting last night and asking for a permit
To
to
go up.
put the driveway in because one of the properties was talking about needing to move offset from this wetland area, and this was where the state kinda said, this is what you need to do. I believe it was, I don't remember the action that was taken. I think it was passed, but, a little tired.
It wouldn't change these plans then.
No, it doesn't
Either way.
change anything. That's why it is the way it is.
Oh, okay, because they needed that for those plans.
Yeah,
Oh, and this is elevation, not like,
Yes.
I see,
this is
okay.
elevation.
And
Keeps
it's sitting
rising.
on top of a hill.
Yeah. So, plan, slope.
This is gonna be a monstrous of a home.
It's a bedroom dwelling, therefore, it's gonna be a bigger system over here.
Yeah, it's a 440. Where's that number? 440. Should be.
It's gonna have, narrow because probably a bunch of rock. That's my guess.
It's nice that they got the reserve set already. No, I don't have one.
We're gonna put in a boulder gravity wall, so that it can't.
I'm gonna see the soft spot, so we're doing good.
Where will that be?
Right here, in this area.
Oh, interesting, yeah.
Because it's on a hill, they don't want the raised, system to slip away.
Mhm.
So they drew in here a boulder breakout wall, so it can't break out.
Oh,
See that? That's what
that's
that
really
is.
cool.
See that?
We shouldn't do.
Interesting.
You can do what the lady did at, on Plum Tree, put forsythia all around the whole thing. It's all in bloom right now.
So that's why they're on the top of a hill. And it's, my guess is I haven't found it.
Well, congratulations to them, we found a piece of good land.
I don't,
Well, it looks like it's gonna be a very big house. I like the castle on the hill, cabin. Sorry. I know. I never got it right, sorry.
alright, let me sign that one too.
Guilty.
Old business, any training updates?
Is there anybody missing?
I am.
I am.
You're missing? Which one are you missing?
The only one that I am supposed to do. I forget what it's even called. I took the test and I failed. So I got angry, so I have to redo it. I was rushing through it. Oh, yeah.
Well, I have ICS 400 next.
There you go.
Yeah.
So the one you trying to pass is ICS 100.
Yeah.
So
Actually, ICS.
Do you wanna take it for me?
No.
I was
with
so
me.
mad when I failed it. It never happens.
Oh, you probably just missed
Oh,
by
the
one.
Leonard, yeah.
They don't tell you.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
frustrating part, yeah.
And I haven't gone back with that several weeks ago.
Okay, next item is landfill monitoring update. So we sent a letter to the DCR.
Uh-huh.
The DCR, stated they reviewed our request and unfortunately cannot offer any assistance. They stated the landfill is the responsibility of the town and DCR is not able to provide funding for town services.
Did they say we could stop monitoring it?
No, I didn't ask that question. And I spoke with Nate, and Nate said that Dan Clark is the head of the DCR for our region. There's no one else to appeal to. And, the plan is, as we may have discussed a little bit at a previous meeting, is that our board will pay for this first half of the year test, out of the Board of Health revolving account. And Nate told me that when we have a special meeting in the fall, the second test for calendar 2024 and the first test for calendar 2025 calendar years.
Oh.
So, will be on there and be put on to the, one of the lines for the general funds to pay for it. So the fall test for 2024 and next year's spring test will go on the next special town meeting, cause he's anticipating we will have to have one. And he's gonna put it on there. Okay, and that's where we stand on that. Next thing, we're gonna have our metal recycling for the spring, on Saturday, March 18th at down on Route 68 South. There'll be a sign out. It'll be from 10 to 1, and,
What are we doing for advertising?
so we can do what we did for the fall. If you will, Nancy, put out a notice on the website. And then we, can ask, Nate to put out a e-blast. And then we ask Katie Young to put it on the, electronic board. And the details of each of those messages you should have all of that from the fall one, so it's just a change of date.
Yep.
Same time, same place. And I think we're committed to doing this twice a year as for recycling. As we discussed in the last meeting, Nate is still looking into, on our behalf, to see if we can work on a plan that would join 3 towns for, trash hauling and so on. The only other thing for, recycling is, I don't know how we're gonna squeeze this in. We need a full list, of where we can recycle televisions, in Gardner, and electronics, and who takes old tires, and who takes metal if you have lots of metal at your house and you can't haul it to our recycling day. I'd like to get us a list together, just pulled up the state statute today under the housing section of the state statutes that says that there's a limit on how many cars, unlicensed cars can be on your property. The town does not allow junkyards without application. applications or permits and all the rest. So as I drive by to do food inspections around the town, if I see a place, I'm gonna politely ask and give out information on that kind of stuff.
The one on Morgan Road, not the one.
You can,
The one on Gardner Road.
there's a whole bunch of places.
Well,
There's,
the one on Gardner Road is getting worse. Not our friend
I
in
know.
the tan.
Yeah.
Our friends. in the
So,
yellow building.
in an effort to encourage our town to be mindful of proper disposal of trash and recycling items, we're just gonna, as I do this over the spring and then when I do other ones again, inspections in the fall, we'll just, as I go, I'll make a note of who I've stopped by and handed them copies and politely ask them to please consider helping themselves and helping our town's image by,
Are you gonna write that all up, like
a little yeah, I'm gonna put together a little speech, if you will.
yeah, and then we could give them the list that we pulled together. Would be
Right,
at the
that's
bottom
my
of it.
plan, they're gonna get a
I
copy
think
of
we
it.
should even do like batteries, lithium
Yeah,
batteries.
any types of things like that we can help, and then we know places
Yep.
that they can do this.
That they can do it.
It's just this is education,
Yeah,
and it also helps our town look sharper and cleaner.
well, there aren't too many Mercury's miners out there,
No, but there are, I'm sure there still are
so,
some.
Everything's
So it's
digital.
just an educational aspect that
yeah.
as we see it and people pass info to me about certain places, we'll just kinda, help them out the best that we can. Just by a stop by and give them information. If no one's there, probably leave it in the mailbox and I'll just make a note of it on a list. Oh, that's right, can't do that.
No, don't do that.
Sorry, you're right,
Yeah, 'cause
cannot do that.
Yep.
But if I was, you're right,
Post
I
office
forgot.
gets a little twitchy about that.
No, it's not proper,
Yeah.
it's not proper, I
So I said that's why the post
did
office
not mean
gets a
that.
little twitchy,
Sorry.
yeah.
Strike it.
Strike that out. Not planning on really doing that, but, okay, so, this is all under, a recycling overall effort by our small board of health of 4 members and 1 administrative assistant.
Sounds like a good idea because, I've been driving around the town too. It's like, what is going on?
So we will, as the inspector for the Board of Health, I'm just gonna be a goodwill person to encourage these things, that's all. Alright, EDS floor plan, did,
It got sent.
It got sent, I just
Yeah.
had added that to the.
Yep. and that's been taken care of.
Yep.
That was a better, map than the one we had previously.
Kevin, I
Cause-
gotta hold Kevin and
Cause it had all the exits and everything, so that was a nice one.
so we'll keep a copy, a fresh copy of that,
Correct,
so then you can always have it
right, that can be in our
in a
EDS
binder.
binder.
Yeah.
Okay, new business, Massachusetts State Health Assessment,
This is something you had said, that this is something we should discuss in our meeting.
right, so they're launching a state health assessment, required component of public health accreditation boards, PHAB, comprehensive reaccreditation process. The assessment describes the health of people who are born, live, learn, work, play, and age in Massachusetts, and is used to develop the state health improvement plan. And they want us to do this assessment by April 30th. And I was wondering if,
April 30th.
that's okay, we can still do it, I think. We can double check. I was wondering if the MRC booklet that you had made
Mm-hmm.
would have enough statistics in it to complete this. What do you think?
I didn't look at the.
Would you have time to look at that? Cause you have the book.
Yeah,
or
I
not?
guess I'll create time. I'll create
Is that
time.
okay?
Yeah.
To create time for that?
I'll create time.
Okay, thank you. Maybe email them first and see if it's too late to send in before you put any further efforts into it. Okay?
Yeah, I remember looking at this, but I wasn't willing to get involved in it, but I'll take a look at it again.
Do it when you're with all those little babies.
Huh?
Do it when
She
you're
won't
with
have
Oh, yeah,
time
with all little babies.
Yeah.
You won't have time.
Okay. Next is,
I'll have Katie.
oh, wonderful. Are we
So
getting,
adorable.
any tonnage reports from any of the other
I
places?
haven't gotten anything, I've only given what we've gotten. We did get a couple right away when I requested them, but I haven't had a chance to
Okay.
look to see who's caught up.
Again, it's a lack of time to send an email out that says, send us the information. Any trash hauler knows, any of these big they know they're supposed to send them to us. So we got one from Waste Management, of the first quarter of tonnage for our town.
This went to the conservation committee, we just got a copy of it, so I didn't know if it was something we wanted to mention or.
Gee, they sent it out on April 17th and they wanted it back by
You can do
April
13 days.
30th. Yeah.
That's,
I think they meant May.
No.
right after Memorial Day.
So this is Waste Management. We recycle our junk.
I didn't even read it.
That's a lot of tonnage.
I don't, it's like I just,
Next we have a copy of a Providence and Worcester Railroad Vegetation Control Program document. Okay, they're saying that they're going to send out one vehicle that has the spray, and in front of it is another vehicle to tell the driver of the one with the spray, of sensitive areas. And then their no spray area is any area that is both within a right of way and within any zone 1, 100 feet of any surface water source, 100 feet of any tributary, 10 feet of any tributary associated surface water body where tributary is at a distance greater than 400 feet from a Class A surface water source. A lateral distance of 100 feet for 400 feet upstream on both sides of a river. 50 feet of any identified private well, 10 feet of any wetlands or water over wetlands, 10 feet of the mean annual high water line of any river, 10 feet of any certified vernal pool. So as they go down a railroad tracks, they have to keep away. This was, so they're going to have color-coded signs attached to posts. And they're designated with color codes. And they can also be attached to railroad ties, or the railroad, rail sections can actually be painted so that they have a permanent way of knowing what's going on.
Does it say who does the identifying? I'm just curious.
It is. So it was
Must-
approved in 2021, and the maps and updates thereof continue in effect unless modified. TEC Associates and Department of Agricultural Resources keep it updated. That's the way I read that letter. Talk about how they're gonna do it, how the employees are gonna be safe. Okay.
Oh, they take a whole month to do this.
And if there's any emergency, they have contacts of each of the chief of police and or fire chief in each town, cause they do a number of towns. One of the products they're using is glyphosate. Which is Roundup, common name is Roundup. And they have a map showing everything. And there's the maps, two pages of maps. This was sent to the Concom. And because it's doing with water and stuff, it is appropriate that we get a copy also.
There's bushes. No, actually their cutter is worse than their
So,
sprayer.
another example of this sort of thing is the state has a record of the fact that I'm a certified organic farm, and every year I fill out a form, so that there's no, if they do mosquito spraying from the road, they will not spray by my property at all.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm on, so that's also, they do,
They're aware.
they're aware, they're trying to be aware and follow the appropriate things.
Protocol, yeah.
Yeah, they spray every year coming down the railroad tracks. And actually,
They go
it's
out.
good, it's good that they're that they go 20 feet either way on either side of the railroad tracks, because, when the trains come through, sometimes, especially in the heat of the summer, the wheels will spark.
Yes, and that's one of the
That's all
biggest
the
things
words.
Yes.
that they're talking about
wouldn't even
is,
thought of
the
that.
reason they
Yeah.
do it is to keep brush, trees, everything from coming up. Not because it will cause the train to derail, but because of the fire hazard.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that's what happened one year when, fire got started in behind my house,
Yeah,
because of spark
I just
from the train.
from the train.
Make
Oh,
a
that's
And,
little
and
folder.
the Gardner Fire
our
Department
copy for
parked
the
their
Board of Health.
water tank truck on the railroad. Somebody didn't tell the railroad that was the train that was coming from Gardner. he didn't get the message, came around the bend and bam!
What an exciting day, oh my goodness.
I said, oh, interesting. I said, oh no, it's gonna hit, and bam, it did. It was $3,000. It was minimal
Yeah.
when you consider it's a truck.
Yeah,
So,
wow.
but still, Gardner Fire Department would appreciate that.
Unexpected subjects. Appreciation letter from Public Health Council. Written by letter of appreciation written by the Massachusetts Public Health Council. It says, April 17, 2024. Dear esteemed public health workers and local Board of Health members of Massachusetts, we the members of Massachusetts Public Health Council want to extend our deepest gratitude and respect for the exceptional service you provide to our communities in Massachusetts. Your unwavering commitment to public health stands as a beacon of hope and resilience for us all. And, well, I guess I'll just read it. The array of public health issues you contend with is vast, from the opioid crisis to emerging diseases to managing the care of new immigrants. Your routine tasks such as restaurant inspections, emergency preparedness, fostering collaborations across jurisdictions are fundamental to the health and safety of our communities. Alongside these responsibilities, you are still managing the ever-changing complications of COVID. Your dedication to these duties is truly inspiring. We wish to acknowledge the immense contributions you make every day to the health and well-being of Massachusetts. The difference you make in the lives of those you serve is profound, and for that we are eternally grateful. Thank you for your steadfast dedication and for everything you do for the people of Massachusetts. Please know that your efforts are recognized, valued, and deeply appreciated. With heartfelt thanks is signed by Commissioner Robert Goldstein and members of the Public Health Council. And that was sent to Hubbers. There we go.
That's just a notification of a cat bite.
Okay. The last unexpected thing, while that's going around, is that we were notified of a cat bite.
Cat was euthanized.
Rabies test on the animal was negative, and the animal was euthanized.
What?
Yeah.
For a cat bite?
Any more details?
Yeah, I'll pass it without including names and such.
Did they like the cat? Did they hate the cat?
Those are the details.
Well, we might have another Christine Beta.
That's the last one. That's what cat, Lori had.
So what did she,
The melanoma dispensers.
Yes.
Project.
did she respond?
She did, it's right here.
It says that this cat was found in New Winchton. Isn't that what that says?
That's where it was,
The person lives here.
Okay.
and they went to a certain, place that,
Okay.
after the bite.
So they must have euthanized the cat so they could test it for rabies.
I think so.
Okay, I think they have a new test for rabies that they didn't do before.
That's nice.
Yeah. Because otherwise it's not good.
No, because I used to. Send them, put them in a duffel bag, put them on ice ball block and send it in the mail to Joanne. Take it over to the post office and mail it. True story.
Oh, I see, okay. I'm understanding now.
There it is.
That's the way it was done.
Oh,
Okay, the last item for new business is, Lori, unexpected business.
Subjects.
Unexpected subjects, thank you, it's getting late, I've been very busy. Lori received, a letter that, there is some funding from Impact Melanoma Project, as discussed at the MPH meeting, in April. And their first step is to initiate an order for sunscreen dispensers. And then it was just sent to us very quickly. The deadline was today. So I made an executive decision to, Lori thought we could use 3 here in Hubbardston. And so, Lori is going to order 3 for Hubbardston. And, if we don't want to use them, they will be used elsewhere. Lori sent an email, she suggested, at the, fields, playing fields and such. And there will be signs on they look like hand sanitizer dispensers. I don't know if you saw anything through the emails with all of this. And then there'll be a description underneath of how to use it, what it is and how to use it, to encourage people to have some sunscreen and what it is. And that's just the trail of the emails.
Sounds messy.
The trail of the emails is messy, however, the goal has been met. And that is, we will get 3 through this grant program under our town membership in MPHN.
That's great.
Alright,
Sounds
That
like
is
the
a
cat
new
was a
turnover.
feral cat, but
Right, and that might be.
okay,
Or a
turnovers,
lost cat,
warrants for
yeah.
approval, financial reports.
with feral, with multiple problems.
Yeah.
Cause I don't think rescue, animal rescue could just do it, no, it's not their way.
So, Nancy and I have gone over, do you have a copy of that? Yeah, and we have, straightened out, all the account names,
Oh, that's
account
good.
codes,
Finally,
and there's, for revenue expenses, because there were errors. And that's why some of the monies were a mess. So as of April first, of this year, going forward, we're not going to look back because it's just not worth the time and effort. And per budget year, it also doesn't hardly make sense at this point, and I agree with Nate on that. And all the accounts are here, and details of how they're gonna be sent, and then this is what we are using and also giving to our town accountant. So we have straightened it all out, and there's what we're using, and so here's,
So anybody should be able to
so going forward, there's not
do a turnover.
anybody, you, me, anyone can take a check and see what it's for
And follow that.
and follow that guideline
Well, I hope we can.
and be able to, so
But
for
account-
example,
Yeah.
in septic, if we have a septic, a perk test, a certain amount goes to cover the sanitarian's fee, and then a certain amount is left over. Of that, 75% stays in septic, 25% goes into the BOH funds account. It's one, and that goes to the town's general fund. So a 25% after sanitarians paid in septic, then there's a certain amount of money's left, 75 stays in our septic account, 25 goes to the town, so we're always contributing to the general fund of the town.
This is great. This is
And
really
that's
good.
what I thought we were doing, 'cause that's been the guidelines for a few years already. And just in changing of staffing and so on and so forth, it got all jumbled up.
Mhm.
And now we are completely straight. And here's the current one,
And these are the we've adjusted ones.
and then
that we
you've
had from-
adjusted those, yep, okay.
This under glass.
Believe me. I worked hard on this.
That does look like a lot of work.
Yeah, and we met a couple times to make
Yeah.
sure we had it right.
Yep, and double checked and double checked.
Yes. All right. So,
And under glass with the sign at the bottom that says, do not break under penalty
A flaw.
a law.
Board of Health law.
Right. Or fine.
To which it can.
Yes.
Oh, we're supposed to sign this?
No, that's just here to see, that's just, that was the latest turnover.
those are the
I just
ones
put
that
it there.
at our last meeting, I said,
They're the
I don't think this is right.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And we redid
Do
it.
you wanna just sign
Yes,
it?
yes.
That is not a good
I actually love numbers.
Huh?
I love numbers.
You want numbers? I hate numbers.
When they work, right?
Well, even when they don't.
Yeah.
This is the last, this is one's 70, 68, and it's this.
Oh.
Public service, so it's a different, an increase of this amount
Per month.
per month.
So-
And so that, it's almost a quarter, because 2557 is 1/4 of this amount of money. And it's 2360.
Interesting. So we've received a, bill, the latest bill that comes to the,
For the dumpster.
it comes in as one statement, right?
Mhm.
Still, to the DPW, of which we pay for the construction dumpster that Republic Services from our recycling fund. So that, and it was $78.68, and the current bill is now $102.28 a month. That's an increase of $23.60 each month. So that's almost, as Nancy has written, the bill went up almost 25%. I think we need to pay this, but I think I need to have a discussion with Travis about, this cost, cause, that's, $1,200 a year plus
Or
for a construction dumpster to be sitting down there. I'm not sure how many times it's been emptied. So that's the question, how useful is it? Do we need to have, it's a really huge one.
Well, I wonder too.
If we can get a smaller construction dumpster that would still meet the needs.
Maybe times of year too, like maybe February, January, February, they don't use it as much. When things start to melt, maybe they use it more.
Right, I need to I
Yeah.
think I should have a follow-up discussion, with the DPW about this, and so I will sign off on it. And then we'll figure out how we're gonna handle this. Maybe it means certain times of the year, like it's full, they bring back a smaller one, which would cost less. There's different sizes. I mean, this one is huge. They have multiple sizes, and they can still be a construction dumpster, but different sizes. This one is really, really big. It's as big as those metal recycling things. You know,
Oh, yeah.
those are huge.
Yeah.
You've seen that.
Yeah.
So, me,
Do I sign this?
yeah.
Yes, please.
Me, talk.
See, this is what we did.
Alright, I made myself a big note to add to my list of things to do.
Finally all got caught up because for a while they hadn't received a couple of checks or something. It finally is all good. So,
Yeah, they swallow, probably swallow.
Do you have that, copy of I said stick it in the pile that Nate was gonna respond to? Do you have that piece of paper?
what is that one?
Is it on the bottom?
No, that's just the old minutes.
Alright, there was 3 things that Nate was going to respond to us before this meeting. I don't have that list.
Oh, maybe it's in my office. Do you want me to run over and get it?
If you
I think
can.
it is.
Okay, anyways, we are keeping in touch, if you will. So most of the things have been answered that he was gonna respond to. I just wanna make sure.
The door. I'd have to go.
Alright, so we're gonna table, Nate's responses, and he said he would get back to us, cause I don't have the 3 items, and I'm getting a little tired. We'll put that on next month's, next meeting's agenda, and I'll review all those things, cause he pretty much has answered it all. Alright, anything else from anybody? Alright, I, want to call this meeting to adjourn at 8:27 PM. Okay? With everyone?
Great.
Alright.